She might be the face of American basketball at this point, if we're being real. Stars are coming to Indianapolis to watch Caitlin Clark play. She's popular because she does things we've never seen before. Jordan did things that we've never seen before. It's the common denominator between the two of them. She's popular because she does things we haven't seen before. She's been in the league for 15 minutes.
And now a man who still wonders what the hell happened to Chuck Cunningham. It's Ricky Cobb.
Oh yeah, and welcome, you sweet bastards. It's a Wednesday morning in Chicago. I'm Ricky Cobb. Caitlin Clark's second game of the 2025 season, and all eyes are on her. I think she is the most in-demand basketball player on the planet, and I say that with the NBA playoffs in full swing, conference finals going on right now. I don't think it means as much as Caitlin Clark. Last night, the Fever coming up short against the Atlanta Dream, losing 91-90. Caitlin with a couple of threes late in the game. They fall short, but Caitlin Clark, excellent as always, in front of celebrities. Kyle Larson, the former NASCAR champion, in attendance. Bubba Watson, the two-time Masters champion, in attendance. Celebrities coming out. There's Bubba and Caitlin right there before the game. Stars are coming to Indianapolis to watch Caitlin Clark play. And it says a lot about how her celebrity has definitely burst through the WNBA bubble, and it is just a pop cultural phenomenon now. She is the face of the WNBA, and she might be the face of American basketball at this point, if we're being real. Big night for her last night in defeat, 27 points and 11 assists. That is her 10th 20-point, 10 assist or more game in her career. 5 3-pointers made last night as well, but we've got some graphics here for you. Take a look at this. This was before the game. Most 20-point, 10-assist games in league history. And there you see it. Caitlin Clark tied with Diana. Diana, you aren't ready. You're going to find out reality check. Taurasi. Well, she checked that reality and surpassed Diana in 20-point, 10-dime games. And it took her 523 fewer games to do it. So how hard is the league? And I'll be a little easier on Diana because she admitted that she was wrong. Now tied atop the list with Courtney Vandersloot. The legendary Courtney Vandersloot. 430 games it took her to do that. That's over 10 WNBA seasons. At least when they played a 40-game schedule. So Caitlin Clark continues to set records. And get this, last night with the 20-plus points, 10-plus assists, and 5 3-pointers made, she now has 4 such games in her brief WNBA career. And you might be interested to know that's as many as every other player who's ever played in the league combined. You think she's any good? But no, she's popular because she's white. Of course, is what some people would have you believe. She's popular because she does things we haven't seen before. She's been in the league for 15 minutes. She's already got as many of those games as every other player who's ever donned a WNBA uniform for 30 plus years. That's why she's popular. Let's stop being stupid about it.
Dude, numbers don't lie. Shit doesn't lie, man. Look at some of those stats. It was like, as you know, I was sort of confused by some of them just watching the game even last night as we were going back and forth. Like, there's just so many holy shit moments when you watch her play. I'm sorry, it's not hyperbole. I'm a women hoops fan. I've been going to games for 8 or 10 years. It's crazy.
Absolutely. She's popular because she does things we've never seen before. Jordan did things that we've never seen before. It's the common denominator between the two of them. Jordan played a type of basketball that made your eyes pop out of your head because you'd never seen anybody else do it. We'd seen Dr. J. People compared him to Dr. J. He was better than Dr. J. And I say that with all respect to Julius Erving, who is one of the greatest to ever do it. But who is the women's basketball player prior to Caitlin Clark that made anybody stand up and say, damn, did you just see that?
You could
With
say
respect,
Sabrina.
all of the fine players.
Yeah, you could say Sabrina.
I'd never fucking heard of her, Tim.
You know,
I had never heard of her.
Yeah, Kobe was on that train. She played out west. You know, she played her college games out west, so there was some of that dynamic. No, but I'm with you though. Like, go down the list of, yeah, no, I'm with you. There is none. And when you watch just her style of I'm not going to geek out on passes, but she led the league in assists last year, and there's a reason. When she's threading the needle, bounce pass after bounce pass after bounce pass. Brittany Griner showed me something last night. She does have some real game. But, at some point, Caitlin looks like a pinball in a pinball machine, and these people are just spinning and turning, trying to figure out how to stop her, and it just does not happen. It simply doesn't happen.
Yeah, they can't do it. Look, 20-plus points, 10-plus assists, at least 5 3-pointers made. Look, that's super impressive. It really is. That's very impressive. Can you believe that 4 of those games happened in the history of the WNBA between everybody in 30 years? It doesn't seem like it should be that rare.
Yeah, I mean, that's part of the dynamic, right? I do think the game has improved. So Maya Moore, Shamika Holzclaw, all these ladies who blazed the trail years ago, they didn't have a deep 5, right? So I think, now Caitlin can dish, she can shoot, she can score. So I think that's part of the dynamic, that the teams have gotten better. But look, man, she has elevated everyone around her. And no, there's no one out there who, you're right, there's that holy shit record scratch moment, drilling 2 deep threes to get the team within 4 last night, late in the mid fourth. There's a reason why the Fever are now selling games direct, feverdirect.com, that you can buy. People around the world can tune in and see what's going on there.
Tim, 2.5 million people on average were watching the Fever Sky opener. 3.1 million, the highest viewership during that game. These are numbers that would have been unthinkable prior to Caitlin Clark coming into the WNBA. What was the average WNBA telecast getting on ESPN in the pre-Caitlin Clark era?
Yeah, a couple, maybe a
tiny fraction.
Yeah, maybe a couple 100,000. No, there's no disputing that. It's just you're seeing 10 and 15x the number right now. It really is a 3.1 million. I mean, look, there's most NBA games that aren't doing that. Let's be honest. Middle of the afternoon game, nice weather, you factor all that in. You throw that in prime time and that game's doing even more, just based on my experience. The record scratches when you see her play. People there's text chains and group chains. When does she play? Where does she play? The Fever are doing an incredible job on their X feed, like every step of the way from her arrival in the arena last night, hundreds of fans signing autographs, the whole deal. It's made for an interesting presentation of her versus Angel Reese. I think you comparing Angel Reese to Bill Laimbeer is really just the most apropos tweet that I've seen, that I know we have here. We could put it up. That really is going to drive sort of this viewership. I guess for me, Ricky, do you think is it the rivalry that people are tuning in to see, or do you think it's just solely Caitlin and Angel is sort of the bit player?
I think the rivalry has been a key element of it. Look, people are going to tune in for Caitlin Clark, period. I do think the rivalry has fascinated people because Angel Reese has been the villain, and heroes need villains. Protagonists need antagonists. And LSU winning the championship and Angel pointing at the ring finger left a lot of people wanting to see Caitlin Clark get back at Angel Reese. And I think what is starting to already happen, Tim, is we are starting to see the separation in ability between the two players. That's been clear since the beginning. This isn't news that Caitlin Clark is a lot better than Angel Reese, because she's a lot better than virtually everybody in the WNBA with a few exceptions. But what I think we're seeing now is this is going to be a one-sided rivalry in the WNBA, and it's hard to be villainous when you're getting got the way that Angel Reese appears that she's going to be getting got by Caitlin Clark and the Indiana Fever. So, a few more 35-point victories, and I think the steam of this rivalry is going to pretty much be dissipated, and Angel Reese is going to fade back into being a secondary player. I'm excited about this. I'm not the world's biggest auto racing guy. I, used to watch the Indy 500 some when I was young. Shout out to Gordon Johncock, who was always one of my favorites, and I just love that name. I watch a little more NASCAR than I do IndyCar, but bro, this has got me fascinated. Oscar Mayer, we're going to have the first ever Weenie 500. And rather than me describing it for the people, let's take a look here at the promo footage that we have for this. There are going to be 6 Oscar Mayer Wienermobiles that are going to race one another on the same track. It's going to be streamed live on Friday, May the 23rd, and circle it on your calendars. Let's take a look.
So good. What a time.
Has a first name, and it's gun that motherfucker around the track. Look, how fast can you get a Wienermobile going, Tim? Serious question. What kind of speed are we going to get here?
They were smoking the tires in that promo video. I don't think that was AI. Look, I've seen the Wienermobile out on the highway. That does not look sleek, does not look welcoming or fast. I'm going to guess though, dude, we're going to, around the turns, you may see 70s and 80s. I don't think they'll crack 80, 90, but who knows? But yeah, man, what a time to be alive. Jesus.
Wouldn't it be relish all over somebody just goes into the wall or something?
Relish all over the track.
Can you imagine the situation where like say that something bad, God forbid, and I don't want anything bad to happen.
No, everyone's
safe. But if something bad happened, can you imagine trying to cover it and cover it seriously as a broadcaster? It's like, well, the jaws of life have arrived now. They're opening the They're opening the wiener. We hope he's okay.
Prying open the buns.
Wiener.
Prying open the
tragedy,
buns.
Wiener. It's going to be a little. They're prying open the bun and bringing out his remains. Now it appears that he's not moving. Sadly,
toasted
my
bun.
bologna has a second name. It's DEAD. Dead. Terrible. I don't know. Of course, we don't want any of those things to happen. It is, but you know what they say, people go to races and they want to see the spectacular, and sometimes that's a crash. What would be more spectacular than seeing somebody roll a Wienermobile 5 or 6 times?
Yeah, they are not aerodynamic. Have you seen one on the highway?
Safety precautions.
Have you seen one on the highway? Have you seen one outside of rig? Yeah, right? And it does. It looks like
a treat.
Looks like a terrible Boy Scout project or some science project gone wrong. Does not look aerodynamic at all.
Planners has a Nutmobile now. They have kind of leached onto this. They figured out hey, peanuts are kind of sort of shaped like wieners, and now they've got a Nutmobile. So look at this.
Chili dog, New York style. Yeah. I believe
the fuck is going on here?
I believe the cars are after different, there's a Slaw dog, which I would never have. There's the Sudran dog, no way. There's a Seattle, and I don't know what car number 6 is. But yeah, the Chicago hot dog, I know you've tweeted about it. Way too much shit on a hot dog in Chicago.
Not a fan.
Not at all.
Not a fan. I'm not eating a hot dog with all that shit on it. You know what I am, Tim? I'm a mustard and a bun guy.
Sauerkraut. If I'm at a game, sauerkraut.
Give me mustard. Give me a bun. Let's keep it simple. And I'll eat a plain hot dog too. That's not a problem. Mustard is optional. I don't get the Chicago dog. They say run it through the garden. up here. No, don't run mine through the.
Did you say
fucking
give
car.
me?
Here's another.
Hold on one second. Did you say give me the dong
Okay.
or give me the dog? Did you say?
I
Seriously.
said give me.
Okay,
I
you
said
did.
give me the dog, for God's
Okay.
sake. This is how rumors get started, Tim.
I'm just.
I don't want the dong.
I'm being serious. Yeah. No, man. Look,
I've never been a fan of dongs. I like my own, but I don't require any others.
listen, I'm with you. Dirty water dog, especially if the vendor is sweating and he sweats down into the little little vat of water that comes out. Sauerkraut mustard all day, spicy. Never honey,
That's
never
disgusting.
sweet mustard. Yeah.
All right, how about this? I tweeted this a while back. This was my idea, and I initially tweeted this in 2017, Tim. I updated it today because I was like, it's about damn time I tweeted it again. So I put it out this morning with the with the Indy 500 in front of us. But this goes back to 2017. Why don't we put the world's fastest engines in these fuckers and see what they can do? No, not those fuckers. Yes, those fuckers. I got a lot going on here. How about NFL helmet mobiles? What do you think?
They look like the three-wheel golf cart.
What team would you want to drive, Tim? I'm just saying, man. Get those guys up to about 80 miles an hour. Now that's must-see television.
Listen, anytime you have white wall writing on white wall tires, those things can move. I'm wrong. They're not they kind of look like the old three-wheel golf cart that used to flip all the time. Those things were dangerous as fuck. But fall four-wheeler there, I don't know, man. Hard not to want to be a cowboy, right? This is pre-Jerry, obviously. But good Lord, look at those sweet bastards. Those are phenomenal. Do you know the history behind that photo, Ricky, or no?
Yeah, it was halftime of an early Super Bowl. I forget which Super Bowl, but an early 70s Super Bowl. They came out and drove these around the field in a display of American dominance. And I think we would be well advised as a society to reignite that fire, because you tell me what's not to like about helmet cars.
Oh, come on. We're going to have the concussion moon helmet, padded bullshit, slits on the side. Oh God, it would be so unsightly.
Have the one lame one out there. The Wiener, if we can cut back, I also had a Wienermobile tweet at one point that we had a glimpse of there.
Look at that, boy. That is the height of your powers, man. That is the height of your powers.
Look at that. As I had tweeted, China and Russia like their displays of military power. Well, we're capable of some shit too, motherfucker. This is the United States of America. Take a look at that. Let's get all the generals lined up saluting those dogs. And I said dogs, Tim, as they drive by. Here's one for you. Breaking news. Just coming across the wire, P.A. Jarrett in my ear during the break telling me that the much anticipated Tush push vote has occurred today in Minneapolis, I believe it is, where the owners are meeting. And the Tush push, somewhat surprisingly, is going to survive for at least one more season, Tim. They have elected to keep it. They would have needed 24 out of 32 teams to vote to ban it for that to happen. And we don't know what the number was just yet, but we do know that it came up short of 24.
Yeah. I think this is kind of a surprising outcome based on everything I've been reading and hearing. I think it was sort of a fait accompli that it was going to be voted to be banned. So it's interesting. So then, who, obviously the Eagles, the Bills not voting to ban it, the Packers pushing to ban it. So somewhere in the middle, I think cooler heads have prevailed. Look, it's amazing to me the analysis that's gone into this, not just the numbers, but the league having concerns. It looks too much like rugby. It's just an ugly play. It's a pig pile. Player safety. Go down the list. I'm with Ron on it. Stop it. Know how to play it. I mean, you could argue the quarterback sneak is just as unsightly and ugly and everything else.
Dude, I'm conflicted on it because on the one hand, my initial position is get rid of it. I do think that it is essentially a loophole in the rules that's being exploited to great effect. However, at the same time, I eventually came around to the opinion that, and then we talked about it with Ricky Ricardo on the program as well, among others, Tim, don't penalize the Eagles for figuring out how to do something better than everybody else. And as you said, the Buffalo Bills are pretty good at it too. But it's the Eagles play, right? And yeah, Jalen Hurts, I think it was Jared said in my ear, pencil him in for another 12 or 15 rushing touchdowns this year. It's going to be great for his fantasy owners. At the same time that I feel like it's a poor move to take something out of the rules because you don't like the fact that one or two teams are doing it extremely well. At the same time, I hate it as a play. As a fan, I don't like it. And so I think that if they had banned it, it would have been unfair to the Eagles and to the Bills. I also think that in the long run of pro football, the game is better off without it.
It got entertaining in the playoffs.
Probably eventually get banned.
Yeah. It got entertaining in the playoffs.
2 years, 3 years. Yeah.
Who was the guy?
To me, it's just no fun.
Who was the linebacker timing it and jumping over the line of scrimmage every time?
Yeah.
Became entertaining.
That was where we all learned. Yeah, that was where we all learned that the officials could award a touchdown at their discretion.
Right.
At a certain point.
Oh, if he kept going offside.
Something like that kept going on. Yeah.
Ricky, quick, just some of the
fact that it made a situation like that occur, I think is a pretty good argument against it. But, I'm happy for the Eagles and the Bills, I guess.
Some of the numbers real quick. So Bills and Eagles, the last 3 seasons, they ran the play 163 times. They were successful 87% of the time compared to the league average, which is roughly 71% of the time. So it's not an automatic home run. I do agree. Jalen Hurts can leg press and squat 600 pounds. Other guys can't. So can Josh Allen. So either get a bigger quarterback or figure out how to stop it. But I'm kind of surprised that we're going to have the tush push again a whole nother year.
Bro, like I said, I'm happy, in terms of the fact that I feel like it would have been calling teams out just for doing something well. But at the end of the day, I'm also a little bit disappointed. I'm conflicted, Tim, because the tush push is just, it doesn't feel like a natural football play to me. So I do understand the argument. I got a feeling that it'll be up for consideration again next year. We'll see. One thing that we know is going to happen, and there won't be any tushes getting pushed when it does, is flag football is going to be a part of the 2028 Summer Games, and the NFL now is signing off on allowing NFL players to participate for Team USA in this endeavor. You can see here, NFL players are going to be eligible to play flag football in 28. And if you have questions about this, I have at least some answers, Tim. I know that you were doing a little research into it yourself. What do you think of the proposition of flag football being an Olympic sport?
Yeah, man. I'm not buying it. Honestly, it's kind of like baseball in the Olympics, surfing in the Olympics, softball. It's short breakdancing. Who could forget breakdancing? Good God.
Breakdancing. Dumbest fucking thing ever that somebody gets to walk around and tell people that they're an Olympic gold medalist. And then you say, like, what did you do? Oh, I'm a breakdancer. It just cheapens the Olympics.
I agree. Look, Eddie Aikau and
the Olympics.
Yeah, Eddie Aikau, and I'm glad surfing was in there, but and that's I think such a niche sport. Look, to me, the NFL player is participating, right? What is it? You'd say two roster spots per team, one roster spot per team, per NFL player.
As I understand it, one roster spot per team. There's only 12 players that are going to be on the fucking flag football team, bro. It's a 5-on-5 event. So
listen,
there are 12 players on the roster.
I love the spirit of guys out there. Daryl Duchette, he's the current U.S. flag football quarterback, and he's talking smack in the last 20 hours, saying, I think it's disrespectful that these NFL players just assume they're going to be able to join the team and even earn a fucking roster spot. How about that? says
This
the
motherfucker thinks that he's going to hold off Patrick Mahomes.
Yes.
Is this what I'm led to believe?
Oh, it's amazing. It's amazing. Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
God, I love that. That's the best part of the entire story, Tim.
Yes.
To this point. So I had questions. So I started looking into this. Like, first of all, like, what does this look like? So it's 5-on-5. Apparently you've got a center, a quarterback, and then 3 running back / receivers, however you want to line them up.
And the center can go out.
Is also, he's going out, right? So there is no 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, but each team can have 1 designated rusher, and there is a line set. You got to be at least 7 yards behind the line to rush the quarterback. If a team elects not to rush, and even if you do rush, I guess, I don't know, you got 5 seconds. There's a 5-second clock after the ball is snapped that the quarterback has to get the ball out of his hands, whether anybody's coming or not. So you can't just go back there and, hold the ball for forever while receivers run around. So those are the basics of the rules. It's a 50-yard field. So the field is half as long, still has 2 10-yard deep end zones, and the field is roughly half as wide as a regulation football field. So that's what we're working with here.
Yeah, when you see some of the highlights from it, it's very much an individual effort, individual play. I would say some of the spin and juke moves look as much like basketball as they're not a true football play. You can try to pirouette if you know you're not going to get crushed coming over the middle. If you know your knees aren't going to get taken out, you can start tap dancing and spinning like you were Fred Astaire out there, and that shit obviously wouldn't fly in football. So the fact that you're not taking the body and you're not sort of doing what football players do, that it becomes a super individual effort. Guys, again, you watch some of the highlights, spinning, twisting, turning. I'm honestly not sure I'm into it, to be honest with you. I'd be willing to give it a shot, but an NFL game as it is, I struggle to watch anymore in person. First of
all, I feel for the guy who is the Team USA quarterback.
Oh, yeah.
You get this moment where this is going to happen, and it's like, oh, this is great. The glory boys are going to come in and steal my thunder. Like they don't already have enough going for themselves being NFL stars. They're going to come in and they're going to take away this poor motherfucker's opportunity to win a medal. Secondly, Tim, and this is, I think ultimately this, you think the dream team in 1992 in basketball was good? Remember Charles Barkley's comment about Angola? He's like, I don't know what Angola is, but they're in trouble. Right? Who the fuck is going to be able to play flag football with 12 NFL players from anywhere else in the world? Who are we going to draw in the first round? It's like the United States against Hungary.
Right.
Well, that'll be, I wonder what Patrick Mahomes will do against those guys or whoever we send over there to be our quarterback. How in the world is any other team in the world going to be able to put up any kind of an effort against our best football players?
Yeah, unless you have countries that can claim the dual citizen and they can come play for them, right? So you may have an American actually playing on a team, et cetera. But I'm with you. Who the hell plays flag football anyway in the rest of the world? Let's start there. But dude, your description of the rules.
Did you see how flag football did in our poll today? He got absolutely bombed.
Right.
What was it, under 10%?
Yeah, 9. But your description, like my eyes are rolling in the back of my head already, like 7 yards to do this, something to do that. Like, I don't know, just a little wacky. Let me, real quick, I'm going to read you the direct quote from Daryl Doucette, because maybe we should try to get him on the show, actually. Ernie, if you're listening, let's try booking him. Yeah.
First thing you need to do is text Ernie as soon as this show's over.
Daryl Doucette, USA.
On the show.
So direct quote.
I want to push his buttons too.
Oh, it'd be great. I think it's disrespectful that they can automatically assume they're just able to join the Olympic team because of the person that they are. They didn't help grow this game to get it to the Olympic. Give the guys who help get this game where it's at. Give them the respect that they're due. So he's flat out. He's not backing down. That's a recent quote in the last couple of days here. So
it's going
I'm
to be
with
a
you,
goddamn quarterback competition, is what he's saying.
Oh yeah. But look,
Wouldn't
I'm
it
with
be
you.
amazing if he just beat out like the NFL guys? Because he's just been playing flag football for so long. I mean, it's probably a slightly different skill set, right?
Very, yeah. A lot of razzle dazzle, shake, twist, rattle, roll. Yeah. There's very few reads.
It's
all
5
one
on
on one.
5.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, maybe the gap between this Doucette guy and an NFL quarterback under these conditions, maybe it's a lot narrower than you might imagine.
Yeah. So we're going to try to get him here. He's already said he's better than Patrick Mahomes too. Yeah.
I want him tomorrow. If you like what you saw on today's show, head over to outkick.com/newsletters and sign up for Ricky Cobb's Rewind. We're going to have great stuff coming to you every 2 weeks via email. It's absolutely free, and you can stay on top of everything that we're doing on the program.